Hi, we're Sparks.
And we're here to talk about our movie musical, Annette.
So may we start, may we start, may we start. So may we start, may we start. There she is.
About 9 years ago, we as Sparks had written what we thought was going to be our next album. It was called Annette, and it's a narrative project, a narrative album that we thought we could also tour with. About 8 years ago, and we went to the Cannes Film Festival, we met the French director Leos Carax, who had used one of Sparks' songs in his previous movie, Holy Motors, a song called How Are You Getting Home, of ours off of one of our older albums.
Tell me how you're getting home. Well, don't let me push you, baby. What I like is your independence. Real sport, real independence.
We met with Leos when we were at Cannes, and and it was more just a cordial meeting, a social meeting, rather than anything with le business. We got back to LA and we had this project. We thought, we should just send it to Leos because he's always been a fan of Sparks' music. And we sent him the project just out of curiosity, but not really expecting anything or not even asking anything of him. And then he got back to us and he said, this is really a pretty amazing project. Give me a couple of weeks, I'd like to think about this. And then he got back to us and he said, I would really like to direct this as my next movie.
To Leos's credit, he just focused on the one film for 8 years. I mean, we're sort of used to American directors who have 10 different projects in development, and if one thing falls through, it's not that big a deal, but this project meant so much to him. And, all of his projects, he doesn't make very many films. He really focuses on the one thing, and to have that kind of stamina for 8 years, it's something that we can kind of identify with.
Le César de la Meilleure Musique Originale est attribué à Mael et Mael du groupe Sparks pour Annette.
I think sometimes you can just be challenged by the prospect of doing something that's outside of your comfort zone. And with Annette, that was really the case, where we wanted to just try something in a fresh approach for how we normally work. And so one thing led to the next. There was the idea of a young baby who could sing in an operatic sort of way, and then that idea kind of expanded to, well, who would her parents be? And, well, what's the most unlikely couple that was in show business? And, well, there's a stand-up comedian who's really edgy and kind of this gruff guy, and then there's a really sophisticated opera singer, and the two of them marry, and then their marriage goes through problems. So it kind of, the whole story sort of accelerated from one idea to the next, and it just exploded into this sort of really big story.
But Anne has changed me. What I see in her is obvious. What she sees in me, it's a little more puzzling.
We felt that a musical piece that it could also be tragic in some sense, and there obviously there are comedic operas, but there's like a sense of doom in a lot of operas that really appeal to us.
Well, one thing that we really liked about Annette was that there's kind of no rules stylistically as to how the music should be. Some pieces are more like they're coming from a band sensibility, some more electronic, and then some really orchestral. And I think that's one thing that's always sort of been part of Sparks, that there's no real rule or real defining thing as to stylistically as to what any one album of ours has to be. We can kind of venture into any area, and sort of that kind of the thing of not knowing exactly where we're headed is sort of something I think that Sparks fans really enjoy, and I think it's something that Leos really responded to as well.
We may agree, so may we start. So may we start. It's time to start. My time to start.
We're amazingly thrilled that there's 11 nominations for Annette for the Césars, and when we heard about it, we're in Los Angeles, and for us just to be involved with the César Awards coming from two Americans, it also I think has another an extra meaning as well, because it just really gratifying for us to kind of be embraced by France, and French cinema as well, and we've always been fans of French film and stuff, and so now to not only having been able to do a film with a really great French director, Leos Carax, but then to be nominated for 11 awards for the film, it's something that's really pretty staggering for us, so we're very grateful.
You try to tell yourself, these things don't matter, but they matter.